Welcome to episode 30, where we'll be looking at user input in Python. So, most of the time, when you write programs, you realize that you might want to interact with the user. And in Python, getting input from the user is quite easy because you can just make use of the built-in function called input. So maybe let's actually create a program that prompts a user to enter their name, and after which we can greet the user with their name. So we can just say, please type in your name. And I'm just going to put these angled brackets and colon for formatting. Then I can then say name is equal to input, right? Then we can then simply print nice to meet you. Then we concatenate with the name there. So let's jump to the terminal, clear the previous output, invoke the Python interpreter by typing Python, then give the name of the script that we want to run, which is input.py, and run that. Then you realize that we get that prompt where we have to enter our name. So let's say I type my name there. So it says nice to meet you, Dell. So yeah, that's how you can get input from the user in Python. So the input function is quite interesting in the sense that you see this line number 1 we have going on there. We can actually pass that string as an argument to the input function, and it would still give us input as it is. So let me just get rid of that print with the prompt, then just put the string in there, right, so that we reduce our code to essentially 2 lines. Then I'm just going to go ahead and run the script one more time, and you realize that we still get the same prompt that we did get in the last time around. So maybe let's say my name is 45. So it says nice to meet you, 45. So that's how you can get a string input from the user. Then another type of input that you might be interested in getting from the user is to get numerical input, is it? So let's say you want to create a guessing game, right? So let me just go ahead and comment these 2 lines right here. So let's suppose that you wanted to create a guessing game. So maybe let's say you say you're going to have a variable called guess. Then inside of guess, want to prompt the user to guess the magic number or the secret number, as it were. Right, so the user is going to guess the number. Then we can just print the number that they guessed, or rather what I want to demonstrate in this particular case is to demonstrate something, what happens with the input method. So let me just go ahead and do that, then run the script one more time. Let's say you guess 78, right? So what we did on line number 5 is to check the data type for guess. So you realize that it's giving us that guess is what is of type string. STR it's a string, is it? But now we know that we entered 78. So why isn't it seeing 78 as a number? Right? Why is it treating 78 as a string? It all goes back to the way with which the input method was built. So input is going to read input from the standard input device on your machine, which is for the most part a keyboard, right? And whatever you type in with the keyboard, or rather whatever anything that is obtained by the input function is going to be treated as a string. So in order for you to actually fix this problem, there's several ways you can go about it, but I'm just going to show you the most efficient way to handle that, to fix this problem. So you can use something called typecasting, right? So typecasting essentially allows us to convert string input to a number. right? So let's say we wanted to enter a pin, right, and we are using the input function. So we say enter pin, just like that. So we know that if we run this code, it's actually going to give our pin as a string, right? So how do we fix the problem? So the way we can fix this is to actually use the eval or the evaluate function, right? Then pass the input function as an argument to the evaluate function. So essentially what this is going to do is actually just going to make sure that it typecasts or it converts or it tries to convert the string input to an integer or to a number, as it were. So maybe let's say now in this case we want to check the type of what? Type of pin. So go ahead and clear the screen. Then we can run the script, and this time around you see that we get so let's put 78 just as before. So I realize that it's going to give us what? Give us int, which is the correct data type for the value of the pin that we did input there. So I want to show you one more thing, why you would want to use the evaluate function. So let's suppose that we have pin, right, and instead of using eval, I can use int, right? Then maybe let's do price is equal to float. Then we input the price. What is the cost? Just like that. So we are going to try and convert anything that we type to a float, is it? Then we are also going to do what we can do is, maybe let me just do this. All right, maybe let's run the script, then I can actually demonstrate what I'm trying to demonstrate in this case. So we know that we are trying to cast whatever the input that is going to be given by the user to an integer, is it, and check and print the type right after we've input the price, is it? So maybe let's put 4.5 right there, right? So we know that we are trying to convert 4.5 from a string to an integer. But now what's going to happen is that since 4.5 cannot be converted into an integer, we're going to get a traceback. Is it? So using int or using float, you tend to run into this problem, whereby in the event that it fails to convert a float to an integer, it's going to give you a traceback, so the program is going to crash, right? So that's why you would want to prefer to use eval, right? So with eval, whether I type in a float or I type in, let me just get rid of this line right here or comment it out, as it were. Whether I type in a float like 4.5, you see it intelligently detects that this is a float. Then if I run the script one more time and I put 7, and it tells me that pin in this case is what? Is an integer. So that's why you always want to make use of eval or the eval function, as it were. So yeah, I think that's just about it for this tutorial. That's how you can get input from the user in Python. I'll see you in the next one.